Hello, I'm Gillian Glass and I belong to the early stage exporters team, and I am the programme manager for the Grow Beyond programme. Today I have Damien Campbell and Dave McClements from the programme with me, and they're going to explain a bit about how the programme works and how businesses in Northern Ireland can benefit from this programme. So Damien, if I can start with you, would you like to describe the programme in a few brief words?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Gillian. I'm the contract manager for the Grow Beyond programme. So essentially the programme is aimed at early stage and those who are new to exporting and helping them to sell into ROI and GB. The programme is structured in a step-by-step guide to participants that takes them through a process of workshops and mentoring, gives them the confidence and knowledge to both target and pursue opportunities in export markets in a practical, hands-on way.
And Dave, if I can turn to you, what would you say were the key benefits for companies in Northern Ireland participating in Grow Beyond?
Key benefits, I guess the first one is spotting the opportunities. That's what we're good at. We work with companies very closely to help them understand what they're good at the start, but also looking at the external opportunities they have in the markets, spotting them early on. So that's good. That's a key benefit. The next one, though, is, okay, what are the steps to get you to those key opportunities? And that's a different story. And being able to take through the companies the actual pragmatic steps it's going to take for them to get to selling more in export markets. Yeah, but I think the third benefit is the joint effort it takes in the programme to get us there. So it really is a partnership between Invest ANI, the company and other people on the company, on the programme from that particular company, but also the mentors in our team as well with regards to the market research and the implementation stage of the programme that really concentrates on. So it's kind of a ready, aim, fire whole aspect to it, spotting the opportunities, saying, right, okay, how are we going to get there, and then actually doing it is the big difference against a lot of other programmes.
Well, thank you for that, Dave. And Damien, if I can come back to you, what would you say were the specific requirements that companies would need to have to get the most out of participation in the programme?
The key thing is essentially the mindset of the owner-manager who's participating on the programme, because what we're asking them to do is to think and allocate time to consider new opportunities outside their current business. So there's a challenge in doing that because they've got to look after their current business as well as allocating time to the programme to consider some of these new options and to consider the actions it's going to take to pursue some of those new opportunities. So that's one of the key benefits of it. We also operate a challenge function in the programme where we're kind of asking them to look at the business to see what's working in the business and some of the things they need to change, because while it's an export business, it's also a business growth programme. And there's other issues related to people development, resourcing, operations, finance, as well as the marketing and sales, which we concentrate on. And we essentially focus on the combination of those activities to help them in their mind get a clear idea of the stages of growth and how they are going to pursue those stages of growth through the assistance of the mentoring and the workshops that we provide during the programme.
And finally, I have a question that maybe both of you could give me your views on. Grow Beyond has been running very successfully now for a number of years. What would you say are the key elements that have contributed to that success?
I guess, well, I'll kick off if it would help. I think one of the key things is that it is clearly structured, and one in terms of developing a plan, which then clearly leads into the implementation of that plan. And we talk about that in the sense of what the participants are going to be doing. They're also engaged in it in a couple of ways. One, we ask at least 2 people from each company to join. So they're sharing some of that responsibility as well as garnering some of the ideas from other employees within the business. It then proceeds to a trade action plan presentation where we ask the participants to themselves, supported by us, to outline what they're planning to do as part of the programme. And then that transfers into a clear action plan that we develop with them and through them to help them guide their development activity in the next 12 months. So we go through the key steps of developing an export plan, and then we help them implement that, because it's the success of export sales is one in careful planning, careful analysis, and then the other 50% is down to diligent implementation and being persistent with that and following through and learning as you go.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely that. The structure of the program, I think, is a massive side to it. I think there's something quite interesting in the concept of it's an export marketing and sales program, but it's that wider acknowledgement that you're going to need your business to grow to enable you to do that, and there's wider aspects of that often stop people exporting. Everyone can spot the opportunities, but actually enabling your business to have the time, resources to do all those things that you're talking about implementing the plan, I think is something else. And I think the real catalyst actually comes down to the participant. And it's the participant, it's the commitment of the participant, the commitment of their time, the owner-manager maybe, but certainly other members of their team as well. And that's why I encourage those other people to come in the programme. So I think it's the commitment of the participant, but also the willingness to learn. Yeah, we can give you knowledge about export markets and databases, and knowledge is fine. We're going to talk about the skills that you need to be good at, particularly selling and time management, the fundamentals when it comes to that. But I think it's the attitudes as well. And the participants that really do well in this programme are the ones who come with their attitudes being flexible, that they're willing to change those mindsets with regards to how they're running their business, how they look at their business, how they look at their role in the business. I think is the real catalyst, is the real yeast and amongst the sort of ingredients that make the programme a success.
Well, thank you for that.
And I think it just to add on to that, Gillian, sorry, there's a couple of other things that I think really help it, is that all the trainers and the mentors on the programme have worked in actual export roles. So I think that helps with the buy-in from participants, as well as we work hard to make sure it's practical and it's proven techniques, because we work with export companies who have been successful in the future, and all the examples and case studies and exercise that we use during the workshops, as well as highlighting during the mentoring, are from Northern Ireland companies that have actually done it and implemented it and worked. And it also transfers, so we actually ask past participants of the programme to come back into it. And that's unbelievably engaging for participants to say, you were once where I was, now look where we are, and here's how we got there. So I think that helps with that aspiration piece, whilst we're going through the programme and addressing a lot of challenges and issues and obstacles that they have for the programme. There's actually an end point where they can see, here's somebody who has gone through the programme, and the exercises that we're using and the examples that we're using, it's very practical and it's proven. A lot of the stuff we're suggesting companies do has actually been proven and worked with other companies. So I think that's unbelievably valuable for gaining their buy-in and support, because we realise we're asking for their time and commitment. And we're very clear in the programme. We expect to work hard and we expect them to work hard. It's not a easy programme. It requires a commitment of time, effort and energy, like anything, to make it work. And we've proven over a number of years that if they apply that in a structured, organised way, they will get the results from that. So I think it works on all those proven steps, as well as them realising what they need to do to get there, which just helps to deliver that growth plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you both for those very insightful comments about the programme.
No problem.
Thank you.
Super, thank you,
Thank you very much.